Hey, this is Jeff Out Gilberts coming live from my library music room. And going to talk about the question, are you doing it right? And I'm going to let some people show up first, and then we're going to get started. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years, so I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. So now I'm going to start acknowledging some people. John from Baltimore, what's going on? I hope you're having an exciting first day of the week. And Rocio, good to see you in California. Yeah, that's right. It's Monday. Time to kick the ball and get started. And let's see, Daniel, bonjour, my French friend. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And Lisa, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Marissa, what's up, girl? Good to see you. George in New York City. And Ken? Oh, thank you, Ken. Yeah, I love this library too. It's just, I love it. And even right next to me, it continues, right? Some of these books are 200 years old. But I just love it when I come here, and then over there is the Steinway piano, so it's a music room too. And Felicia, nice to see you. Putro from Indonesia, how are you doing? Good to see you. I'm gonna put my water here. I've got some water I've been drinking. And Stephanie, nice to see you. Oh yeah, that's a lot of knowledge in these shelves, that's for sure. Even in a lot of the bedrooms, this house, Delroy, nice to see you. I've got libraries throughout the house. I really do. It go on and on. John, yeah, thank you. Daniette, good to see you. TJ, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Yeah, so Monday, I tell you what, isn't it crazy? Just the financial markets. I mean, Turi, nice to see you. And Daniel, I don't think she'll play right now. This is a great opportunity right now for networkers, earning money in network marketing and investing it. You look at what Bitcoin's doing, gold is doing. Cindy, nice to see you, Cindy. So much opportunity that's going on during the chaos. Eve, nice to see you. And Fazol, nice to see you as well. Larry, good to see you, my friend. So, getting into the question, are we doing it right? It's an important question, because the thing is, we have enough negative people, critics about network marketing. And the last thing we do is we want to confirm any of the things that they say, right? We don't want to do that. That's why doing it right is so important. People are concerned when they're in this business about making the right impression and making sure that they make everything look so incredibly easy and awesome in network marketing. But we know the reality is that, yes, it is awesome, but at the same time, it's not easy. So they just want to sell the rainbow. It's okay to sell the rain too. I think it's best to talk about both. And so nothing wrong with making sure that we make a good impression about our profession to others. Nothing wrong with that. What we have to watch out for, especially in our teams, is when they exaggerate. And let's take some classic examples. Income claims. When they talk about their upline's checks, when in fact they've never even seen it, it's just gossip that's passed on from one leader to the next about somebody in the upline and what they're making. And so that person wants to repeat that same story to a prospect to give them hope, right? And usually it's a number that's just so blown out that it's not even real. I can remember back in the 1980s, In the 1980s, in Huntsville, Alabama, I had a really cool office, and it was a very big office actually, and right in the downtown district where attorneys were and stockbrokers and all that. And we did our meetings there. And anyway, so during the meeting, we would wrap it up with the business testimonies. In other words, how has the business changed your life? So different people would speak. But this same guy talked about the same check that he got. One time he got a $10,000 check. And so he would always say, man, I'll tell you what, I was so excited when I started in this opportunity and I got going and I got a check for $10,000. Okay. But he only got that check one time. After that, there were small checks, but he didn't talk about small checks. He wanted to talk about that one time he got $10,000, trying to basically deceive people to believe that they could always get that $10,000 check every month. Of course you can in network marketing. Of course you can. But he wasn't doing that. And but they didn't know that. What I want to tell you is if you tell the truth, even the truth will sound like a lie. If you tell the truth, even the truth will sound like a lie. So why exaggerate? It doesn't make any sense to do that. So when we want to look at how we do things and are we doing it right, we need to look at what we're saying. And I know anybody on this call right now is not doing that, but it's just people in your team might be doing that. Here's the thing, use the tools. And if your company has a income disclosure on your website, that's what I would show a prospect. It's very transparent. It shows them all the possibilities. I could say, look at this income disclosure and say, where do you see yourself? Because this position averages out this much. This position, this rank position averages out this much. Of the let's say 6 rank positions, where do you see yourself? How much would you like to earn? And that's it. You're not saying that you're earning anything or how much you're earning. You're not talking about your upline. What you're doing is you're selling facts. And that's important because that's integrity. That means you're not exaggerating. You're telling the truth. And when you tell the truth, you're going to go far in this business. I mean, some people, again, we attract all kinds of people into this profession. I mean, there's no gatekeeper that's going to ID people as they come in to know if they got a shady background, if they're dishonest, unfortunately, we're not regulated. We're really not. I mean, that's good and that's bad. Some of it needs to be regulated, I think, but we're not. So anybody can come in, and that's part of the problem is that when you get shady people, and I have had them in my downline in more than one company through the years. And I'm always glad to see them gone because that's always their eventuality is they're going to be gone. So the thing about it is, what we have to do is just make sure that we do it right. I remember when I was at a meeting one time on the island of Guam, and he said, he introduced me and said, I want you to meet someone. This was many, many, many years ago. Many years ago. He said it's making $50,000 a month. And and later I told him, I said, don't ever say that, man. Don't ever say that. People can't imagine more than double what they're currently earning at their job. It sounds like a pyramid scheme or, a Ponzi scheme. It's not, for us to have an impact, we don't have to throw figures at them. In other words, you can give them examples, and back then we didn't have income disclosures on websites, but you can give them activity examples and show them what's possible. But it needs to be within the realm of being realistic, or they can't relate to it. So again, when we talk about doing it right, that's what we really need to look at. How are we doing in that area? And then the other thing to keep in mind is that you can there's been a lot of people have gotten in trouble with the FTC, actually been sued, their bank accounts seized we're talking about distributors, not companies. Sure, it's happened to companies, but when they go after a company, they don't just go after the company, because usually it was rogue distributors who were foolish in promoting things they should not have promoted just to entice people to join them. Okay, and then they froze their bank accounts, and then they wound up in a lawsuit with the FTC. How do you win against the FTC? You don't, because they have endless resources. So another reason why not to post on your Facebook, your 1099 or your check or anything like that, or any income claims. Okay, so that's number one, doing it right. Show them your income disclosure. That's totally legal. It's transparent, and it makes you look good. It's because you're being honest. Now, second, how about another one? It's another one that's simply not true. The product sells itself. The product sells itself. When I drink the jungle juice, man, you ought to see me. I am a beast. You know, the products never sell themselves. I've been in network marketing 40 years. They never sell themselves. I promise you, there's got to be, I don't care how good it is, somebody is going to have to explain it. So then why do people say this? Why do they say it? Because they want to take the fear away that some people have that they have to be a salesman to do the business. So the product sells itself. But that's simply not true. They're going to find out that they're going to have to promote it. What can we do to make it easier? Well, what we can do is simply make sure that they have the tools that they need. Do you have a good video that explains the product? Because we can tell that person, hey, just share this link with someone, and then call them back, or view it with them if you can, if that's possible, and then ask them, say, how do you see yourself? Being a customer, or can you use some extra money? Because all you have to do is share the link with people and let them buy direct from the company. The company is selling it to them. Number two, your Facebook product groups, assuming you have one. If you don't, start one. And that's where people can be added to that group, and people are sharing their stories. And so your prospect is hearing these stories, they're impressed with the facts, you're not having to open your mouth, say anything, and they're selling it for you. You can say, hey, this Facebook product group is really a great support when you have prospects. You add them to it while maybe they're looking at your product and what you have, still not convinced, and then the group itself is very convincing. So that's another area. What's one more? One more, and that is, hey, all you have to do is just work a few years and you can do what you want the rest of your life. How many times have we heard that over the years? You just work a few years and do what you want the rest of your life. I'm going to tell you, I don't know anybody who ever made significant money that ever did that. I promise you, you will have to be engaged. I'm still engaged with my leaders after almost now 22 years. I talk to them, reach out to them on their Facebook pages. I comment. I stay engaged. I mean, I have maybe, 24 drivers that I can think of that I engage with. So we do stay engaged. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why I'm doing this live call is because they're going to look at it. They're going to say, wow, man, can you believe this, Jeff? You know, he's 64 years old, been in this thing 22 years, and he's still engaged. This guy's not quitting. Well, what kind of message does that send to them? Don't quit. Don't retire. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that we sold a lie? Because the whole thing was about owning your life and having freedom. Well, I promise you, I do own my life and I do have freedom. I do. And I can say that for the majority of the 22 years, almost 22 years, that I've been part-time, and I'm still part-time. What do I do the rest of the time? Take out the garbage. I had to say that. Go out there and work in the gardens. Go beat my drums. Go look at some investments, maybe invest in something. Talk to leaders. I mean, I'm just saying, whatever I want to do. Play with the kids, It's whatever it is, okay? I mean, because we're all pretty much quarantined right now where we live. I mean, we do go out to the park and, because the national park is just outside those windows right there. So there's things we can do. But what I'm saying is, but I live the life of a regular person, okay? Yes, I do take the garbage out. Anyway, I don't have as many people here as I used to, simply because I don't, right now I don't want COVID-19. I just don't want it. Anyway, so, but hey, we just got back. My 18-year-old son, we went to town and went to curbside Kroger and picked up some food. That was another thing we did today. Okay? So we do normal things that normal people do, but I'm still doing this on a part-time basis after 22 years. So yes, you do have a life, but it's a big mistake to go into success coma and check out, and you're never on the grid, and your people aren't seeing you, they're not hearing from you. That's financial disaster when you do it. You will go back in rank, and then you're going to regret it. So don't do that. So this room here, I don't normally do my lives in this room, but I couldn't make it to the game room since I just got back. And anyway, so for those of you that have not seen my library music room, do you want to see it? I'll show you a little bit more. So I'll flip this. So here, that's, of course, more books. And I love Western art. Thank you, Eden. Nice to see you. And that piece there. And then this is an oil of a Levite priest. Very famous artist, and this is, I just love that piece. My turn. That is a Confederate gun. It's stamped 1860, Harper's Ferry, which means it came out of Robert E. Lee's Legion. And his regiment, I guess that's the word, regiment. But it works. I mean, it's in great shape, and I love it. And I love Civil War history. Most people don't even understand what the Civil War was about. But anyway, most Confederates never had a slave. So what were they fighting for? They were fighting because, I'm going to go over here. That's Abraham and Isaac. He's pointing up. That's an original oil. I love that. And of course, speaking about the Confederacy, there's Robert E. Lee with Stonewall Jackson. Anyway, it was about being. They didn't want to be ruled by Washington. That was it. That was what the Civil War was really about. And then everyone wanted to hijack and create a different narrative and say, "Oh no, it was about enslaving people." It wasn't that. I love one of the lines that Longstreet said in the movie Gettysburg. He said, "The only mistake we made was we should have freed the slaves first, then fired on Fort Sumter." It wouldn't matter. They'd still hijack the story. Oh, man. But anyway, so a lot of these books here, to the left, far left, I've had these books since high school. Actually, these right here, Khalil Gibran. Anyway, and poetry books. And then some of these, like I said, are very old. And some of them not so old, but they're great. They're truly great. And then, of course, every now and then you see Michelle play on this Steinway piano. This is a Model D, so this is the biggest piano they make. It's a $170,000 piano. Came out of New York City. And but yeah, and I love some of the artwork in the room, like I said, and that's the Harvard collection there of books. And then just a lot of incredible books. Churchill, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Just great books, awesome books. Totally love this room. And anyway, so if you got some value out of this as far as doing it right, you can share it with your team. And I hope all of you are going to have an awesome, I'll show you one more painting I love. One more. Same artist I was showing you earlier. And that is Jesus when he was at the age of, 12? Anyway, and his parents frantically looking for him when he was questioning the teachers. Just a beautiful piece of artwork. Anyway, yeah, Lisa, you can sometime in the future. So listen, I hope all of you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll put out some more value tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and then I'll talk to you soon. Be safe this week, okay? Bye-bye.